You're that person, aren't you? The one everyone seems to count on. The friend who always picks up the phone. The family member who always steps in to fix things. You give and you give, because that's who you are. But lately, you're feeling drained, unappreciated. You look at the people you're constantly helping, and a quiet, uncomfortable question starts to surface. Am I actually helping, or am I just being used? That feeling of being taken for granted isn't just in your head. It's a warning sign, and it points to a powerful Stoic lesson that reveals a hard truth. Sometimes our best intentions can cause harm, both to ourselves and to the very people we're trying to help. In this video, we'll break down the 5 crucial signs that you might be helping the wrong people. The ancient Stoics believed that helping others was a core part of living a good life. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "Man is born for deeds of kindness." But, and this is the part we often forget, that kindness must be guided by wisdom. Stoicism isn't about sacrificing yourself until there's nothing left. It's about using your energy and kindness with good judgment. There's a dangerously thin line between helping someone and enabling them. Helping empowers a person. It gives them the tools to handle their own challenges. Enabling, on the other hand, simply shields them from the real-world consequences of their actions. It might feel like love, but it really just creates dependency and stops them from growing. You end up taking on their responsibilities, making excuses for them, or giving them money you know won't be used well. When you do that, you're not truly helping. You're just prolonging their struggle, and this is where Stoicism becomes such a practical tool. It teaches us to protect our own peace, set real boundaries, and remember that our first duty is to our own character. By learning to spot the signs that our help is misplaced, we can redirect our kindness where it will actually build strength, not weakness. So what's the first red flag to look for? The first and most glaring sign is this. They repeatedly violate your boundaries, even after you've made them crystal clear. Real help is a partnership built on mutual respect. It means listening to what's needed and honoring the limits of the person who is giving. Imagine a family member who constantly hits you up for demanding last-minute favors, knowing you're already swamped. You finally work up the courage to say, "I can't do that on such short notice. I really need a little more warning." For a week or so, they seem to get it. But then the urgent, "I need it now" requests start right back up, often with a guilt trip like, "I knew I could count on you. You're the only one who can help." And if you get upset about it, they might hit you with the classic, "I only had good intentions," completely flipping the script to make your reaction the problem. This pattern is a huge red flag. Your boundaries aren't selfish. They are the ground rules that protect your time, your energy, and your sanity. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus spoke often about knowing what you can and cannot control. You can't control whether someone asks you for something, but you absolutely control whether you say no. Enforcing a boundary is an act of self-respect. When someone consistently ignores your limits, they aren't looking for help. They're looking for compliance. They are benefiting from your lack of boundaries, not from your generosity. The Stoic response isn't to get angry. It's to find a calm, firm resolve. That boundary you set isn't a suggestion. It's a condition for your help. Protecting your inner peace isn't selfish. It's necessary. If someone repeatedly shows you they don't respect your limits, it's a sign your help is being taken for granted, and it's time to rethink the dynamic. Sign number 2 is a big one, a persistent lack of gratitude and reciprocity. Stoicism teaches us that we are social creatures meant to support each other, but that support has to be a two-way street. Sure, a good deed should be its own reward, but a relationship where help only flows in one direction is just a slow, exhausting drain. Think of that friend you constantly prop up emotionally. You spend hours on the phone listening to their problems, offering advice and cheering them on. But when you are the one going through a tough time, Suddenly, they're too busy, they're dismissive, or they somehow manage to steer the conversation right back to their own issues. Or maybe you've lent money to a relative who not only fails to pay you back, but never even says, "Thank you." They just move on to the next request, as if nothing happened. This isn't just forgetfulness. It's a clear pattern of taking without ever giving anything back. The philosopher Seneca wrote a great deal about kindness, and he called ingratitude one of our most common flaws. He made it clear that while we shouldn't give just to get something in return, any healthy relationship must have a spirit of give and take. A person who never shows appreciation or makes even the slightest effort to reciprocate is showing you that they view your help as an entitlement, not as a gift. They see your generosity not as a virtue to be respected, but as a resource to be used up. From a Stoic perspective, this is a matter of justice. Are you in a relationship that is mutually beneficial, or are you just propping up a lopsided dynamic? Marcus Aurelius advised us to constantly check if our actions and relationships are aligned with reason. A relationship with no gratitude is fundamentally unreasonable. It drains the giver and teaches the receiver nothing of value. Spotting this pattern is the first step toward putting your energy into relationships built on mutual respect. This next sign can be tough to see because it involves looking at our own impact. Sign number 3 is when your help consistently does more harm than good. Your intentions might be golden, but if your actions are enabling destructive behavior or fostering dependency, you are not actually helping. The Stoics teach that true help must serve the greater good and align with virtue. It can't just be about satisfying your own need to feel helpful. Take the classic example of giving money to someone with an addiction or a serious spending problem. You might tell yourself you're helping them pay rent, but you're actually removing the natural consequences that might force them to seek real, professional help. By constantly softening the blow, you prevent them from ever learning to stand on their own. Or think about that friend who is always in the middle of relationship drama. You continually jump in, mediate their fights, and offer a shoulder to cry on, only to watch them dive right back into the same toxic patterns. Your help has become part of the cycle, allowing them to avoid looking inward and making a real change. This is where Marcus Aurelius would tell us to look at the results of our actions with brutal honesty. Is your help actually building their character and self-reliance, or is it feeding their dependency? True Stoic help empowers people. That might mean offering to drive someone to a support group meeting instead of just giving them cash. It might mean listening to a friend's pain, but refusing to get involved in their drama. This is incredibly hard because it often means stepping back and letting someone you care about face failure. But as Epictetus taught, you have to separate what you can control from what you cannot. You can't control another person's choices. Your role is to offer support that encourages their own strength, not to become a crutch that makes them weaker. If your help keeps leading to negative outcomes, it's a clear sign your approach isn't working. Sign number 4 is as clear as day, and it usually hurts. They only contact you when they're in a crisis. When things are going well for them, they are missing in action. The phone doesn't ring, your texts go unanswered, they simply vanish. But the second their car breaks down, they need money for an unexpected bill, or they need a shoulder to cry on, you are the very first person they call. This isn't a friendship, it's a transaction. Your value to them is based on what you can provide in an emergency, not on who you are as a person. Real connections are consistent. People who genuinely care are present for the struggles and the celebrations. A true friend is there for you quietly and consistently, not just when an alarm is being pulled. The Stoics valued authentic connections built on shared goodwill, not on what you could get out of someone. Seneca wisely said that we should give without expecting a return, but he also stressed the importance of choosing our friends wisely. To keep pouring your energy into someone who only sees you as their personal crisis hotline is to undervalue yourself. From a Stoic viewpoint, it's an act of poor judgment. When you notice this pattern, it's time to practice some Stoic discernment. Simply observe the behavior without an immediate emotional reaction and see it for what it is. This doesn't mean you have to cut them off in a dramatic fashion. It could simply mean you start recalibrating your availability. Stop being on call 24/7 for every single crisis. Your energy is a precious resource. Investing it in people who only show up to make a withdrawal is a bad investment. Put that energy into the relationships with people who are there for you through all seasons, not just during their personal hurricanes. And the final sign, number 5, is perhaps the most important one because it is all about you. Helping them consistently drains your inner peace. The ultimate goal in Stoicism is to reach a state of inner calm, what they called apatheia, a mind that isn't disturbed by outside drama and chaos. If your interactions with someone consistently leave you feeling anxious, resentful, or just plain exhausted, that is a powerful signal that the dynamic is toxic. This is more than just feeling a little tired after helping someone move. This is a deep, soul-level exhaustion. It's that feeling of dread when their name pops up on your phone. It's the resentment that simmers long after you've sacrificed your own needs for theirs again. It's the feeling of being pulled into their chaos, where you are constantly forced to compromise your own stability just to keep them afloat. Epictetus taught that our main job in life is to keep our own minds in good order. He said that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. When you constantly feel disturbed after helping someone, your own mind is telling you something important. It's making a judgment that your boundaries are being crossed and your well-being is at risk. Your peace is your most valuable asset. When helping someone becomes a source of chronic stress, it's a sign from your own inner compass that something is deeply wrong. The Stoic path isn't to just suck it up and endure it. It is to recognize the disturbance, figure out its cause, and take rational action to fix it. That might mean setting firmer boundaries, creating distance, or in some cases, ending the dynamic entirely. You can't pour from an empty cup. If helping someone costs you your peace of mind, the price is simply too high. It's a clear sign you're helping the wrong person, or at least helping in the wrong way. So to quickly recap, the 5 signs are: they repeatedly violate your boundaries, they show zero gratitude or reciprocity, your help is actually making things worse, they only show up when they need something, and helping them consistently destroys your inner peace. Now, the lesson here isn't to become a cold, unfeeling person and stop helping everyone. Not at all. As Seneca said, we should give as we would receive, cheerfully, quickly, and without hesitation. The lesson is to give wisely. It's about transforming your kindness from a knee-jerk reaction into a thoughtful, deliberate virtue. It's about understanding that real help empowers, while misguided help can cripple. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's the fundamental requirement for being able to offer genuine, sustainable help to anyone. By setting boundaries, requiring respect, and preserving your own peace, you become a stronger, more effective force for good in the world and in the lives of the people who truly deserve your support. You were born for kindness, but you were also born to live a life of reason and inner peace. Finding the balance between the two, that is true wisdom. I'm curious, what are your experiences with this? Have you ever felt that your kindness was being taken for granted? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be the exact lesson someone else really needs to hear right now. And if this was valuable to you, consider subscribing for more lessons on practical wisdom for living a good life.